Hey guys, welcome to BUAT BISING with me, Maya, a podcast for me to just talk about whatever I want. And once again, for you guys who have no idea what the phrase BUAT BISING means, it's basically a Malaysian expression that means to make noise. So today I'm making noise with a longtime friend, a fellow underdog, and a person that I will call Pepe, which I guess we will explain later. But yeah, guys, my first ever guest on this podcast, Mr. Timothy Lim.
Brr, brr, cuckoo. What is up, my man? Hello, people. Hello, listeners.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Yeah, why not? Just for the sake of people out there, they are wondering, who the hell are you? So try and explain a bit lah. Who the hell are you?
All right. So hey guys. Tim here. Who am I? Who am I? That's a question I ask myself every day. So basically, I don't know. Like Maya said, a longtime friend. We grew up in church together. I am now also, just starting in the industry, as in like film and video, and also a bit of photography. Like I do that on my own time. Other than that, I'm just your, normal guy you see every day, I guess.
So like you've had some experience in the industry, so like what do you do or what have you been doing mostly?
Oh yeah. I studied in Penang for like I think 2 years, a bit more. And Maya here helped me with one of my finals where I had to do a radio show for half an hour, and that was fun. You remember that, but
Yeah, man, that was
so yeah, that was pretty cool. Sorry I talked over you. After studying, I interned with this one production house in KK. So I think that's where I got my experience with video. But mostly we were doing weddings and events, like those Chinese New Year events, restaurant openings and stuff like that. And slowly I got involved with of course again with Maya, doing short films for church. And then it just sparked an interest in me. Like, oh, I really love shooting short films and stuff like that. And after that, I think I think it's because I also hang out. Most of my friends are in the industry, if not all of them. Yeah, my group of friends, we're all camera people, I guess. And I think it's because of that I never really got bored of shooting stuff. And it's pretty cool, It's pretty cool to have like cool ideas and then translate them into your own, art.
Well, speaking of your friends who are in the industry as well, like what's the vibe that's going on right now? Like what are they saying, or like how are things, getting jobs and whatnot in this current climate?
Ooh, that's a toughie because right now I don't think there are any jobs because we don't know how long this is gonna be. Am I right? So before the whole thing got really serious, before we got into quarantine, things were looking pretty grim already because of the restrictions for people outside our country. So weddings had to be cancelled, and right now I don't think anyone is accepting new jobs or anything because we're stuck at home. We can't gather. But I think some of my friends, they're doing all right because this is like the optimum time to finish your backlog because you're stuck at home anyways. What else are you gonna do? So other than that, I haven't heard any news. It's just been dead. Yeah, it's been quiet. It's been really quiet.
But you know what's not dead though? Our friendship.
Oh my goodness. Oh, perfect segue into our next section. But you want to explain to them why we call each other Put?
Man, I don't know. Is it safe for work? Is that story safe for work?
It's safe. I think it is safe. Okay. I'll go ahead then, because I think it's safe for work. It's probably safe for work. So we started off calling each other Put. I think it's because we tried to replace our swearing with Do you remember the
Yeah.
It's like, bro, why you so like,
Yeah.
like we don't want to use the like we don't want to call people stupid or like stuff like that. So we use like very blur. I think after that suddenly become purr. And then we just sort of just like calling each other purr. I still remember you used to send videos of like I think McD or Burger King. It had like black pepper burger, and then you would send videos of it's black pepper.
But I can't
Stuff like that.
I can't remember like referring someone being totoro as popo, but okay. I mean, we've known
I
each other
don't
for
really
long.
remember.
Yeah, but I mean, like we've known each other for a long time. I think one story that comes to mind has got to be, I think it was some conference in church, and then there was this workshop on how to make videos and stuff. I think it was in 2009. And then like a couple of us were there, like you, me, and I remember like maybe your sister and like Isaac Chua, and like in that
Hashtag shout out.
yeah, and in the space of that afternoon, we had to make a video, like a random video. And obviously during that time, like Ryan Higa was really big. So, shame plug lah, huh? 78 Media Boy, if you want to see my embarrassing videos, it was a video of, it was called My Life as a Name Tag. So we basically took a name tag, and you know what? I'm not going to spoil it for you, but basically it's a story of how a name tag, which is supposed to be a living being, turns into a superhero. Yeah. And
Longkang means drain.
yeah, Longkang means drain. That's an inside joke, but of course, check out that video for yourself to understand what it means. I think one of the funniest parts was that I did not press I pressed the record button when we were supposed to be like changing a shot or something. And so in the video, you will hear me say change angle in my pre-pubescent voice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. That just gave me like a big revelation or some sort. Was that the seed that was planted in our brains?
Yeah, I think that was
now that we're shooting videos.
Yeah, I think that was the first video we ever made. Like legit first video we
Together,
ever made.
and I think at our whole lives, that was like the first video
Yeah,
we
so
ever shot.
it's been 11 years since then.
Oh yeah, which reminds me, like I remember you as the guy walking around church with the DS.
Wasn't it a PSP?
Did you own the DS that time?
Well, I had
No,
both.
I think it was a DS.
I had both.
I think yeah, you were flexing the Nintendo DS with Guitar Hero, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I still have it at home. Well, the actual Guitar Hero thing. So basically, how it worked is like, you'll take your DS, right? And because the DS has like 2 cartridge slots, like you have one for like the DS size punya card, and then the other one down there is like for old like Game Boy Advance games, right? So you'll take the guitar handle, or what is supposed to be the guitar, and then you slot in the DS. So it's not like your regular view. You kind of flip the DS, and then there's a pick that comes with it, and then you just strum on the touch screen. So yeah, I remember flexing. Okay, now that you mention it, yes. But as years went on, well, actually not years, but a year after that, I got my PSP, and that's when I really started to really sink into football games. Not that I didn't play before that, but that was a time where I really went all out.
Right. I remember the PSP. I think it's because your PSP either got confiscated during service or something.
Did
Does that
it?
ever happen to you?
No, I don't remember that happening.
I remember you had such a sour face, that you were like so sad. I'm not sure why. Or is it because like someone touched your PSP? Ooh. Or something like that. I can't remember, man.
I
But
can't
remember
remember.
the PSP and your football days.
I can't remember, but I was a really pissy kid lah.
Oof.
Hey,
All right.
all right. Time to bring the skeleton out of the closet. But yeah, I mean, I was so addicted to it at one point that my parents actually had to stuff it somewhere around the house. But I guess kids now are too smart for that. They'll know where they'll know where their parents keep it. But even then, I knew where my parents
bring it to work.
No lah. My parents actually kept it in the house, so I will always find it. I didn't do this just with my PSP, but even when my parents went out and they actually asked me to study, like I'd spend that time watching Astro. But I still got good grades though, so
Congrats. That's a flex right there. That's a good flex. I
Yeah.
got the grades. My mom used to hide the Astro card.
Oh, well, this is not a good
Yeah.
endorsement for anyone who's still studying and you're listening to this. I'm one of the
Right, that's true.
I'm just one of those I'm just one of those people who have that unfair advantage in life where I just study at the last minute and get decent grades anyway.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I can't remember if I studied last minute in college. I think I did. I spent the whole night up writing notes on a piece of paper and just reading that. Basically, I was just copying notes so it goes in my brain.
Wow, so good
But
boy.
no, that's not okay lah. Cause most of my for the people that are listening, I studied mass comm, majored in broadcast communications. So I think most of my stuff is like practical. Can I say practical? It's like there's no calculations needed. It's all like understanding how this and that works and writing it down on paper.
But then when you're
Stuff
figuring
like
out like the aperture and shutter speed of stuff, isn't that kind of math?
Oh, interesting thing to bring up. I had a photography class, and the exam was to take pictures. We didn't need to do any calculation about aperture and stuff like that. I learned that all after college.
Because during my film school days, my lecturer would like put up this image and like you gotta memorize, like with this aperture, what kind of ISO do you need, and like what's you maintain the shutter speed obviously, but like you have to go like is it from 1.8 to 2.4 to 3.5, so on and so on. Like we had to do that. But film school is a whole another topic. But if you haven't checked out like what I've talked about film school, you can check out the first episode of the podcast. Did I get that right? Yeah, I did. So
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, the first episode is actually really good. I was playing Brawlhalla. So Brawlhalla is basically the bootleg Super Smash Bros. It's a free game on Steam. It's like Super Smash Bros, but just a bit different. I was playing that and I was listening to your podcast once it was released. I was listening, I was playing. Then it ended. I was like, what? That's it? I checked the time. I was like, whoa, that's half an hour gone. It's really good. It's really good. It's good stuff. If you're interested into the film stuff and maybe Maya's life.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, but coming back, I was just thinking like, how did we actually reach this point of our friendship where we have like such a chemistry? I mean, those who know us will know that, like, okay, I don't want to sound cheesy or corny or whatever, but it is true that we finish each other's sentences. Or sometimes we will have a moment in The Shining, where the two twin girls are like standing out, like, come play with us. Yeah, we'll have those moments where we'll just, recite lines from pop culture or from the memosphere. And it's been... I'm just wondering, like, do you remember how do we actually reach that point of our friendship?
Okay. Hold up. Let me think for a bit. This is quite a journey, to be honest. Okay, so I think me and you, we got to know each other better when we were in the worship team back then. I say back then, macam very old lah. When we were younger, I think it's because we often get scolded, and then we got no like how do I put it this way? Because in our group, in our worship team, me and Maya will be the ones that are quote unquote needs more effort. Can I say that? But
Well,
do you think we needed more effort back then?
I wouldn't say need more effort lah, but for whatever reason, I just felt that our mistakes were more exposed. Would you say?
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having my back. yeah, our mistakes were more exposed back then. So I think, after we get the lectures and whatnot, me and Mayo will be like, "Yo, how you doing?" Like we feel like we were in the same boat, type of thing. I think that's when we really got tighter.
Yeah, yeah, but I think would I call it cringy? But we would call ourselves the underdogs though.
Yeah. Okay. So the intro, he said a fellow underdog. Okay. We called ourselves underdogs because we felt like we weren't the ones in the spotlight that much. You feel me?
Yeah, we ain't top dogs.
So yeah, we ain't top dogs. So we're like underdogs. And then so when anything like happens or when the lectures start coming, Maya will look over and he's like, "Yeah, bro, underdog, underdog." Yeah, it's okay. Underdog, underdog. It's like our way of like encouraging each other. It's okay. It's okay. We got this. Underdogs.
Well, it's like, man, I don't want to sound old, but really, I guess with what's happening right now, it seems that the generation gap is getting smaller and smaller, meaning to say that for us, we will have a generation gap with people like probably 10 years older, 15, 20 years older. Like that was the
Mm-hmm.
generation gap. But today, I see that gap getting smaller and smaller. Like you could get someone who is 13 today and they would be saying something totally different than maybe someone who is like 18 right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
because of that, I just think that like when it comes to like taking care of kids, in like youth or whatever, or like in the worship team, right? The way that you have to discipline someone is so much different. Like we can't actually, I don't want to say go hard on a person, but we can't, really like show some tough love to people lah, because we feel like they might
Mm.
reciprocate the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, we just
Yeah.
had to take it and understand. But we knew that I don't know what's the difference, but for me, it's we knew that we had to step up our game. That
That's right.
there's a bigger purpose. There's things that we gotta do, and we gotta put
Mm-hmm.
our pride, our emotion, and we gotta put our ego aside. So I think it's really different. Like, what do you think, man?
Yeah, you mentioned tough love. I think that was the word I was looking for. Tough love. And of course, okay, like to the listeners, we don't hate our leaders, okay? At that time, we have nothing against them. If we could turn back time, I wouldn't change anything, man. I really thank them for giving us that tough love and stuff like that. There's no hate there. So, coming back, I think the tough love really made me who I am today. And it's yeah, it's true what Maya said. It's really different right now because you have to. It feels very like it feels like you're walking on eggshells sometimes, where you don't want to say the wrong words because you don't want to discourage them. Like we used to do push-ups when we used to get yelled at, man. I mean, you can't do that right now. You really can't do that right now. They will just up and go, man.
Oh, my feelings.
My feelings, my feelings. Oh, I mean, yeah, it's really different. I really think that each generation has its new challenges on how to deal with them, and because of how we were disciplined back then, I don't think we can do the same to the kids right now. Like we can't discipline them the same way we got disciplined back then.
Yeah, but we're not trying to say that, one generation is better than the other. Like, no, that's not what we're trying to say. What we are trying to say is that each generation is different, and so there's always got to be different ways or like new ways to try and handle it because, you know, the message is always the same, but
Yep.
like the methods got to be different. And I think that's really hard, like I said, because it's not like, oh, you can do something different with like every 10 years, but now it's like maybe every other year you got to change it up, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
that um I do think that getting tough love is good because like if you think what is happening in quote unquote a church environment is tough, like wait till you get out in the real world. And so I think working in the real world, and I'm happy because I got to start work earlier than the rest of my peers, I would say. Like probably when I was like maybe 18 or even younger, and working in retail and whatnot. Well, not retail lah, but in the F&B business. So it really teaches you like how to deal with people and how to um, just handle situations and problems, because man, people in the workplace, no, I'm obviously not saying everyone, but you will definitely meet that one person or that few people who will come down really hard on you, that will really be tough on you, or just don't want to be your friend. Not for any particular reason, but just cause, you know?
Just cause.
Like, I'm sure you had a couple of experiences like that in the industry,
Yeah.
right?
Perfect segue, my man. So, as you know, and for the listeners, I was really, really lucky to be part of Sabah's first featured film. I was part of the crew last year. I was under the art department, and we had to work with a lot of people from KL or Semenanjung lah, that side of the country, and it was really tough. It was really tough. Stress is like the number one thing. It really taught me how to deal with it. Like, seriously, deal with it. Get the job done. Like, you have a job, do it. Get it done. If you can't do it, find a way and stuff like that. It was really hard because there was a standard to meet. But I'm really thankful for the experience. It's actually really good experience, I think, compared to Maya's experience. It's pretty lucky because we had good people. I had good people in my department. Hashtag shout out to Guan Ye and Afai. Thanks for having my back. And also my buddies that were also part of the crew. They will look out for me because I'm very new to this, and it's my first time working in a featured film or movie, if you may. And so yeah, I think it's really tough out there. It's really tough.
Any idea when this film will be out? I know it was supposed to come out this month, but it's been postponed, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out on the 16th of April, but because of this COVID-19 thing, I think marketing and advertising would have to stop for a while. So they postponed it, but no date has been released yet so far. I'm still waiting. There's no updates yet.
Yeah.
As of now, lah. As of this recording.
But you know, for me, for my experience, it's not just in the industry itself, but also like working in different industries, like in business, in F&B, you know, in the office and whatever. Like, you meet all these special characters that just really grind your gears or push your buttons. But then again, you never know. Maybe you're pushing their buttons as well, right? And so you tend to meet these people, but these are the kind of people that you need to meet. Or like, this is the kind of discipline or tough love that you might have to experience one way or another, because just running away from your problems won't solve anything. Like,
Yep, that's right.
now I'm not going to say like toughen up or be a man, but like, you gotta have an idea of like where you're at, right? Like, it's not a personal relationship, although yes, you create a certain type of relationship, but you gotta understand and you gotta be able to define the relationship or define the criticism or whatever it's happening. Is this person, for example, being super mad at you because of what you have done personally in a personal context, so to speak? Or is it because you did something wrong professionally, which is part of the job, right? So like, I heard this story when I was doing my internship at Biscuit Films. Shout out Biscuit Films. And the story that I heard basically was they were doing this production of Anna and the King. So it was mostly shot in Malaysia, right? They were shooting in Langkawi. And so, you know lah, we Malaysians, we like to help each other out. It's kind of in our nature to help others out, right? Like, oh, you need help, I help you lah. But in this shoot, what happened was this guy his job was just to hold the light. Okay, his only job was just to hold the light. And I think someone from the camera department needed help. And so he went there and helped. But because of that, he got fired on the spot. But the boss was Ang Mo lah. Because why? Because he did not do his job. Because the reasoning is like, what if you weren't where you were supposed to be and the light fell on someone and it injured someone? So I guess that's a lesson to be learned here sometimes. Like, guys, if you're out there and if you're going through something at work you got to think twice. Like, is it personal or is it professional? I think it's something that Gordon Ramsay says a lot as well. Because obviously you watch videos of him in the kitchen and he can get crazy mad, obviously. We don't have to get into details. Where's the lamb sauce? Oh, sorry, I gotta digress. I have to digress for a second. He's got a video on his YouTube channel. I think it's called Gordon in 10. It just came out a couple of days ago. And obviously he doesn't have like a full-on production team. So he gets his daughters and I think like a friend or whatever to shoot for him. And it just so happened that he was cooking lamb. Alright? And at the end of the video, because he had to cook the whole thing in 10 minutes. So at the end of the video, you know what his daughter asked? Where's the lamb sauce?
Where's the lamb sauce? Yeah, I mean, you really gotta watch that video to understand what's going on. It's a meme.
It's a meme. Yeah. Gordon Ramsay's superpower, an idiot sandwich. But anyway,
what are you? I'm an idiot sandwich. What are you? I'm an idiot sandwich.
But yeah, I mean, even he goes to say that, you know, whatever happens in the kitchen stays in the kitchen. So likewise, I think whatever happens at work stays at work. So like,
have you gotten? Oh, sorry. Did anyone ever say anything on set like what happens on set stays on set?
I mean, I've never got that talk before, but I guess it's kind of assumed or like it's kind of
yeah.
You know,
that's like the movie set culture maybe. Like just because you got screamed at on the movie set doesn't mean you can't share a beer after.
That's true. But I think so that's why I think that, like, you know, I mean, I know we're going about this a little too long, but I just gotta say that you gotta keep the cool together lah. You just gotta keep the cool together, you know, because I mean, over the years I've had to try and learn how to keep my cool, because there'll be times that I'll just go on a rampage, and even my girlfriend will know about this lah. You know, it's the type of anger that people don't see, because normally people look at me and they're like, they cannot imagine me being angry, but as those who know me would know that, especially when I'm with people that I'm very close with, they'll know that that it's a type of anger that it's not like just shouting. It could be even worse than that, which hasn't happened in a long time. I admit it hasn't happened in a long time. So I really admire people who can like be, I won't say constantly angry, but people who can get mad in like really short spurts, you know? Yeah. Are you that kind of person?
To get angry? Actually, I don't think so, because usually when I'm out there working, I'm more of a follower. So if there's anything that can make me angry, I would probably just put it down, because I'm here to work, I'm here to follow. Okay, you know this better than me, so I will listen, and I'll of course let it out somewhere after work and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think that's the attitude that you gotta have, especially when you are in a shoot. Like I'm happy because of the fact that we've worked together a couple of times, and we've managed to work with people who are really humble enough to just learn, and especially working with first time actors, that can be quite a challenge, don't you think?
Yes. Which brings me to this memory I had. Remember that the short film The Letter that we shot? I think it was our latest one that we shot together.
Yeah, The Letter. Yeah.
I think it was at my apartment. You were losing your cool, and I was losing my cool because there were things that were forgotten prop wise and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I think late at night already. It was late into the shoot. We were tired already. So when something that important was forgotten, I think we both started to lose our cool. But for the sake of the shoot, I think we managed properly. Yeah, we managed pretty well. Like we kept our cool. Like, it's okay, we'll just push it another hour. We'll settle this first, and then we'll continue. I think we handled that pretty well.
Yeah, I have to say.
You remember that, but.
Yeah, I have to say that that was hands down one of the most intense shoots that I've done in a while. Before that, not to say that I've never done it before, but this one in particular was quite tough because of the amount of scenes that we had. I think writing the script, and if I am correct lah, I think there were 27 scenes in that.
That's a lot of scenes, 27 scenes. Oh, and also there were a few scenes where the scenes were very emotionally charged. So I think that was tough on the actors. And for us as well, cause for Maya as well, cause if the emotion is not there, we had to reshoot it, and it's very tiring to get into character. I get for the actors, I guess, cause they're just normal people. They didn't study acting.
Yeah, and I think the hardest emotion to try to get out of someone has got to be like this next level of sadness or depression, or basically just trying to get tears out of someone lah. Like I remember
Yeah.
when I was doing a short film in uni. It's not the letter, it's the note. So got some got some similarity there lah. Yeah, and so I was doing it with a couple of friends, and there was one scene that my actress had to cry. So it was tough because we were trying whatever. I even took out onions. Believe it or not, I
Nice.
actually took out onions to try to get her to cry, and it actually worked.
That's actually a good tip. I should bring an onion with me next time.
Yeah, because
Right.
yeah.
Why didn't we think of that?
Well, I guess for professional actors, right? Like
Yeah.
there are some actors out there, right, who do such a good job with crying that you can literally tell them to cry from which specific eye. How do you want them to cry? Do you want them to be bawling, or do you want them to come out with like little teardrops? You know, like that is insane if you think about it. But like I think perhaps for people who are new to directing, and if you want to, if you're directing a short film in the near future, here's a tip for you guys, and it's something that I always tend to use. I forgot who I learned it from, probably somewhere on YouTube, but one thing that I like to do is that two things lah. Number one is when you shoot the scene for the first time, just let it roll, because I believe what is more important beforehand, which I did say, is preparation lah. Not just like for production design and actors, but once you've gotten your actors especially, you got to get them to prepare. And so one of the things that seasoned actors will let you know is that how do you prepare for a scene, because it's so much more than memorizing a line. Because I mean, there's so many definitions when it comes to acting, but you're basically portraying the life of someone, whether the character is real or not, but you have to bring it to life, right? Because at the end of the day, the purpose of a film or of a story is to basically immerse you in that world. And so it is an actor's job to be able to do that. And so one thing that maybe first time actors do not know is how to prepare. And so one thing that I would suggest you guys to do is to actually get them to do a bit of preparation, or maybe you have done some preparation of your own, and if you can complement it with some of the maybe real life stories that they've heard, or try and really talk to them for a minute and get some real life experiences that they've had in their life, maybe some hurtful ones which are not nice but necessary to draw the scene out. Yeah, that's something that I would recommend. And also, if you're doing a scene, it would be good to, after the first take, just let them do what they're supposed to do. Just let them try it out, because then you'll see, like, you're kind of like rating it on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So let's say in this scene someone is supposed to be angry, and this person is just not angry enough. And so then you can say like, hey, right now I think your anger on a scale of 1 to 10 is probably like a 3. So could you give me like a 7 or an 8? And maybe show them what a 7 or an 8 looks like. Like maybe instead of just shouting, maybe like hit the table, or like just like move your head a little bit more. What is your body language and things like that lah. So I guess that's the things that you have to look out for, especially when it comes to directing first time actors lah. But we were also lucky enough to get people who, after going through this whole process, they managed to be able to just snap into the role, get into the role straight away. Especially that scene at the beach, remember that?
Yeah. Lovely scene. I really like that. So adding on to what Maya said, Maya's actually a really good director, like hands down. Like you're pretty good at directing. Cause the things that he said just now, the tips that he gave you listeners, he actually did that on the shoot for the letter. He was one of our actors, Brian. This kid. He was asking him to, hey, you're now on your anger level's like on a 4. Can you bring it up to 8? He did that. He talked to him, tried to ask him to dig it out. He gave him a minute alone to dig out those emotions, and then we shot the scene and stuff like that. So yeah, it does work. I've seen it work. We managed to get the scene, although the best shot I kind of screwed it up because I forgot that I didn't see the lighting in the shot. My bad, but that was a good shot. I missed it.
It's okay, but yeah, and so well, sometimes when it comes to actually another tip is that sometimes when you are in your shoot, and again this is especially if you're working with first time actors lah, obviously you would know that you don't have to shoot everything from start to finish, meaning to say that you don't have to shoot in sequence. Like not everything has to be like from the first scene to from scene 1 to scene 2 in numerical order. It doesn't have to be in chronological order. You can jump around obviously to make things more efficient. Like there were scenes where like it would be easier to change the costume of the character rather than to change the camera setup every time, because that would be a lot of hassle to, especially if you're doing like match cuts or jump cuts. And if you want to keep that consistency, you would much rather do the whole scene first. Because I think in that short film, we did quite a number of montages, and so having to find that consistency to try to depict the mundaneness of life or how boring life was, we had to do that. And so, but I gotta say, like, thank you for coming up with that shot of switching the light off. I think that was genius, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. So remember, like you mentioned the twins from The Shining.
Shining.
Or The Shining, sorry. Shining, sorry, I'm sorry. From The Shining. So that was one of the moments. I think we left out. We were digging our brains for an idea on how to shoot. So I brilliantly came up with this idea. Why not he flick the light off every time he goes to bed? But then wait, can I say the climax part, or should they go watch it themselves?
Go for it, man.
So at the climax of the scene where Dad was really angry, I was like, hey, we can change this shot, and instead of him turning off the light can already be off, and he slams the door. So that was like one of our great chemistry, twin sisters. Oh no, are we gonna call it twin sisters now? Is this a thing now? Yeah, that was one of our chemistry moments.
I rather call it a Pepe moment, so...
Yeah, okay, let's call it a Pepe moment. So that was one of the Pepe moments that happened on set, and it's really, 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 how do you say? It's like, it feels very good when that happens. But do you remember that Mother's Day thing that we did?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, if you ever want to check out where these short films are, they're all on YouTube, by the way. Just search for
GCCKK.
Yeah, GCCKK. Either on YouTube or on Facebook. Yeah, either way, you can search for GCCKK, and the short films are up there for you guys to watch. So yeah, I remember the Mother's Day short film. What about it, my dude?
Oh, so my really good friend of mine, Kenzo, remember he was doing BTS on that day?
Yeah.
So he had a shot of one of our Pepe moments, if you realize. It's on my Instagram. You remember that shot in the church office where both of us had our hands on our chin at the same time?
Yeah.
That was magical. That was magical.
Yeah, I think that was the first short film that we like, first real short film that we worked on together, and so far we've done 2. But I'm sure, actually, if I had it my way, I would have definitely done more. Like we were supposed to do 3 this month, actually. So the idea was to do like almost like an anthology, but it doesn't have to be. It's like a compilation of stories, and basically it all has the same recurring theme, but it's just different stories. And we were supposed to do that, but obviously with the situation right now, we couldn't do that. But we'll look forward to the next one lah.
Yeah, I really hope this COVID thing ends quickly. I really miss shooting stuff.
But you gotta,
especially shooting with y'all.
Yeah, but you gotta admit lah, I think with whatever that is going on, it's gonna take quite a long while until we see this. I think this will extend to more than the 14th of April. It's gonna be much longer than that.
Yeah, I'm like half prepared. Like I'm hopeful in one end, but realistically, I don't see myself going out the house anytime soon. It's been pretty tough. But to go back to way from the start, I'm actually really interested in making props right now. So I've been working on a lot of chains. How do you think of my chains?
Well, I ain't a big chains guy. You know, I ain't two chains, but
Oh.
two
Two
chains.
chains.
But but I think that looking at it, it's really cool though. Like, you know what I mean? It's like different people appreciate different things to a certain level. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like some people, if you
It's
let
like
them
it's like how we can never wear disruptors.
yo, I can't wear disruptors. Hey, shout out to the fashion week, man. I mean, every time you think about disruptors, man, like you gotta cringe for a minute. Like, why?
No hate though, no hate, no hate. It's just not our thing. It's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
not
if
our
you
thing.
if you want to wear it, like you do you, girl. But like, I don't understand. You know, one thing. Okay, sorry, I gotta digress for a second. But you know, one thing that I cannot understand also is when people when they wear like a pair of jeans, okay, okay, regular jeans, not black jeans, but any other color besides black, with black shoes, with all black shoes. Like, I don't get it.
Mhm.
It's like not a good look. Like you look like pengawas or something. I'm sorry, that's just me
I
though.
was about to say that. I was about to say pengawas though. Hey, speaking of pengawas, you pengawas what?
Oh god. It was a fun time, I would say, being a prefect. I mean, you do get like certain perks. You do get certain perks being a prefect, but I gotta tell you, I was really making an ass of myself when I was like Form 1, Form 2, trying to be like, you know, goody two shoes and like finding things to demerit. I was so by the law that I remember one time, I think I was still in probation then, and I accidentally brought a CD to school, and obviously
Oof.
CDs are no items, right? And so instead of waiting to be caught, the moment they had spot check, right, I just gave the CD immediately. That's how, you know, by the law I was. But for whatever
You're an Amy.
I'm an Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Santiago. Yeah.
I'm a Santiago from 99. Oh gosh. Hey, I think until episode 9 right now, right?
Wait, sorry?
I think
What?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 7 is on episode 9 right now. But anyway, yeah, I guess you could say that I was a real Amy. And maybe that part of me pops up from time to time. Not as much, but from when I was like Form 3 onwards, I thought like, to hell with all this, what's the point? And then I just straight out just took a chill pill and perhaps be one of those prefects that were kind of on the quote unquote other side of the law.
Underdog.
Hey bro, you need a place to hide your phone, ah? Or like, hey, you need to know when it's spot check, ah? I was like, oh yeah, I would do this during rehearsal though. Rehearsal pula. I would do this
Wait,
during,
pula is it?
yeah, I would do this during assembly. Like if I see a friend and his hair's obviously long, so by the time assembly finishes, right, I'll just pull him to the side and then just take him out on a walk. Sorry, you can't see me doing air quotes, but like, quote, take him out for a walk, unquote. I'll just bring him around, and if a teacher passes by and asks, kau bawa dia pergi mana? And I'll say, oh, bawa dia pergi cari cikgu. They'll be like, oh, okay, carry on. And that was it. So yeah, those are good times. But
That's pretty cool.
enough digressing for a second, let's come back. So yeah, like everyone appreciates different things. But what I do appreciate about the chains that you've made, right, is that, I don't know, are they like as shiny from the get-go?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're really shiny.
Yeah, but
Until the grime gets on.
yeah, but you use it for like a whole bunch of different things, right? Not just like a bracelet or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, bracelets and necklaces are the only thing I do right now. I haven't found any purpose for the rings. I think it's just it's like this habit I have. I think I kind of picked on what my godparents in Penang taught me. Like, just because you can't get the best thing doesn't mean you can't do it at all, type of thing. So to explain that, it's like hey, I can't afford a very nice bracelet or a necklace. You know, like a silver necklace, a couple $100, or like a nice bracelet, a really cool one with, you know, all those lava beads and stuff like that. So why not make your own, type of thing. I think there was like an analogy that my godfather gave me. It was like I think he was trying to make pizza, but he used a really small oven instead. So I went and asked, hey, why don't you get a proper oven? Then he told me, like, just because you want to make pizza doesn't mean you gotta buy the best pizza oven, right? So I was like, oh, that's pretty true. And I think it stuck with me. So most of the things I do, I think, is because I want something, but I can't get it. So I'll just find other ways to get it.
Oh yeah, so speaking of your godparents in Penang, I remember you were telling me about this other analogy that was mentioned, something about the universe and whatnot, like how small we
Oh,
are.
we're going into that now. All right, so it's something that my godfather told me when I was in a really dark place in my life. Like obviously, but you know what I went through. So I was really down. I was really depressed. I had no motivation in life, anything. This was before where I really got into shooting things. This was like that gray area, that limbo. So he's okay, so my godfather, he's really into like stars and stuff like that. It's astronomy, yeah. He loves stargazing and like stuff like that. So one night he decided to flex on me, like, hey, look at my telescope. It's not the like the best one. It's like some China model that actually works. So he was showing it to me, and then we were stargazing that night. So after we were done, we went in the house, and he was on his phone. He was looking at his star app. He was reading like facts about his star, and then he was like, "Whoa, do you know where is the closest star?" And then I'm like, "No." Okay, before I continue, I kind of forgot the details and what he actually said, so I'm going out on a limb here. So he was saying like, "Oh, it's this light years away. It's like 30,000 light years away." And like, "Oh, okay. What is a light year?" "Oh, light year is how long light takes." Wait, is it how long light takes to travel from the sun to Earth? Oh no, it's how long light travels in a year or something like that. I can't remember. So, yeah, he was like explaining to me what light years are.
Light years are basically a measurement of speed. It's
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
a measurement of speed. Yeah.
So, he was talking about light years to me, and it was coming up with such big numbers, and then so we whipped out the calculator and start breaking it down into more bite-sized pieces for my puny brain. So here's the mind-blowing fact that really changed my outlook in life. So he said, okay, from Earth, if the Earth to the Sun is 1 centimeter, okay, so the Earth is here, Sun is here, it's 1 centimeter away. And then he asked me, do you know how far the Earth is to our closest sun? It's about 5 kilometers. And then we went quiet for a while. I was like, whoa, the sun is 1 centimeter away, but the closest star is like 5 kilometers away. And that really stuck on me. How so? It's because like puts into perspective how small you really are, like how puny, how insignificant you are. And then so if you are already that small, what are your problems? Like your problems are like smaller, I guess, which also brings into perspective that how big our God is. I mean, that was the conversation we had that night, lah. And it took me a while before it really like really digested in me. So I think the following week I had a really catharsis week. Like I started to understand what I am, what I'm supposed to do, where I am, and stuff like that. And I was like sharing this story out. And some of my friends that I shared with, I mean, they thought it was pretty cool, but had no effect on them as much as it did on me. So for me to experience that, I think it was really, I can say, life changing. It really how do you say, changed my perspective on life. And I think that's why I got into that that movie, The Craze Below the Wind. By the way, did I mention that? I don't think I did.
Yes,
It's
you
called
did.
Craze Below the Wind.
Yes, you did.
Saba's first featured film. I think that's how I got into that. I was like, hey, I got nothing to lose. I'll just join. So I went up and met up with the director. I was like, yo, I want to be a crew and stuff like that. And the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, I think three things that people can pick up from this is that number one, if you don't know what catharsis means, it basically means emotional breakthrough.
Mm.
Okay. And number two, I guess it worked for you at the time because it was all about context. Like you were at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, the planets aligned, bro.
Wow, astrology. I'm a Pisces. Okay, let's not get into that. That would be a rant on its own, man.
Yeah.
But also, number three is that if there's one thing that you notice across the board with top filmmakers and just people in the industry, right? The ones who do the best work are the ones who are humble. Not to say that there are sombong ones out there who like can't make it lah, but you can see that those who are really making a name for themselves are really humble in many ways, if you think about it. And so, thinking about us, I mean, we've come from humble beginnings ourselves, from becoming quote unquote unlikely friends to having this level of chemistry and to, you know, being able to make short films together. It's like both of us, we took two very different paths, but we ended up meeting at the same place anyway. And I think that's what's
Yeah.
really cool. Because oftentimes people look at people from different backgrounds and different experiences, and you don't realize that how many decisions that had to be made in order for us to reach this point. It's not just one like very like do or die decision, but it's really like a compilation of maybe thousands, if not millions, of decisions that were made before that in order for us to reach this point in life. I'm sure, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for example, right, like you're a filmmaker and you're growing up and you watch this kind of movie, that kind of movie, this kind of video, that kind of video, and you meet certain types of people along the way, which obviously helps you create the taste that you have for filmmaking and stuff like that. And because of that, it allows you to choose the people that you choose. It allows you to make friends that fit in your circle, so to speak. But I would say to
Yeah.
people, like, be open to really any experience that is out there for you, and don't just turn it down straight away, because you never know what you're going to learn from something. But then, of course, there are situations where you got to learn and stomp your foot and say no. But there are certain situations out there that you might feel like, you know, I mean, if you really got nothing to lose, then just go for it. Because whether the experience is good or bad, there's always something to learn from it. Be open to any experiences that you get in life, because you never know what's, you know, waiting for you on the other side. Really, because sometimes you look back and you might be wondering, like, what if, right? And so I guess instead of asking what if, it's better to ask why not. And I believe it's because we both asked the same question, perhaps in a certain point in our lives, that made us the friends that we are today. And I appreciate you, my dude.
I appreciate you too. Yeah, I think that's like really beautiful, but it's actually amazing. It's nothing short of a blessing, like, really. I really appreciate the help you've given me throughout the years, and also leading me as a leader.
That's cool, man. I appreciate it too. Sorry. Thanks, man. I glued my words. No lah. Thanks, man. I appreciate you too. And thanks for being on this podcast. So, for the people out there who do not know who you are, who still don't know who you are, or want to know you more, where can they find you lah?
So yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Hottymellow, HOTTYMELLOW. I post most of my art stuff and basically my whole life on Instagram. So yeah, just follow. It's private though, so I gotta request first.
Alright, thanks, Tim. And to you out there who have been listening to us for maybe the past hour or so, thank you. We appreciate you. Or maybe by the time this is edited, it'll probably be like 50-ish minutes. But regardless, stay safe. Hope you guys are well. And we'll see you next time. Same time next week when it's time to BUAT BISING.